All families have struggles, some big and some small, and you might think someone has the perfect life until you find out they're just like you, dealing with something else. In 2014, a Fort Thomas mom diagnosed with cancer, her young daughter by her side acting as her best friend and private nurse. Now that is a struggle. Well, a month ago, that young girl, she was killed. Her mom beat cancer, but now struggling with a broken family and a broken heart. Now this morning, meet Patty and Keith Chalk, parents who lost their daughter to a struggle that could happen to anyone. Trisha Mackey has that story.
My name is Michelle and I'm Brigitte.
She had plans. Maybe to be a dancer, maybe something to do with animals, like a vet. She couldn't wait to go to a Friday night football game. She couldn't wait to be a freshman at Highlands High School. She just picked up her MacBook and had her freshman photo taken. She was 15. Michelle Chalk was always smiling, and she was full of confidence.
When she was on stage at the recitals, she had lots of confidence. And I thought she could be a businesswoman, she could be, anything. And that's something that absolutely she did have.
Michelle's dad doesn't remember the last thing he said to her, but he says he had a good night with her the evening before it happened.
We talked about the week ahead, and she had made plans with her friends to get together. She was going to take some DVDs and some 2 liters we had left over from a graduation party, and they were going to sit in the house and watch DVDs. And that's the last thing I remember of seeing her.
Those DVDs, 2 Shrek movies she took with her, are now on her bed. Along with her gym shoes, Michelle kicked off right before she laid in a hammock at her friend's house. Those friends who were with her when that tree snapped and killed her instantly told her parents that someone just told a joke and that she was laughing. Soon, police officers arrived across town at Michelle's house.
And I go back into the bedroom where Patty is frantically calling Michelle's phone. Michelle's not at home. And we were hoping that maybe some mistake. And I look at Patty and I said, they want to talk to us. And I think it's about Michelle. So we come downstairs and the detective is here in the living room. And as we come down the stairs, I look him in the eye and I said, "It's about Michelle, isn't it?" And he says, "Yes." A tree fell on her, hit her in the head, and she didn't make it. And at that moment, Patty broke down, and I heard her scream, "No, not my baby." And I knelt beside her and grabbed her hands, and I said, "This is real. This is happening, and we have to go to the hospital to see her." And as we're going up the steep driveway to St. Elizabeth, I had this guilty feeling, or this guilty hope, that there was a mistake, that it wasn't her. And as we entered the emergency entrance to the hospital, I saw 2 friends of ours, and they both were crying, and they know Michelle, so I knew it was no mistake. We went into the room where Michelle was, and she was laying there in the bed, and her head was wrapped in towels and bandages, and you could tell there was damage done. The tree did a number on her. And I reached down and I touched her arm, and it was still warm. And we cried, and we said our goodbyes to her. We went out into the hallway. We started calling family, and the clergy arrived and family arrived, and we had a large group of people. We were there hours. We are living every parent's worst nightmare. Every time a teenager leaves the house and gets in a car, or every time their child goes off to college, there's always that fear. Every time they get on their bike and pedal away from the home, there's always the fear of they're not coming back home. And for us, that was Michelle on August 1st. She left to go to a friend's house, everything was normal. And she didn't come home.
And coming up tonight, advice from grieving parents on dealing with the death of a child as Trisha takes us inside of the dynamic teenager's still messy bedroom.
Beautiful girl and beautiful family. And
Yeah, very strong of them to still be able to talk to us and tell us about Michelle.
absolutely. 54 after 9, back after this.